Hi everyone, I'm George and today I'm aquascaping an hour and a half's drive. It's 6:30 in the morning, so I'm hoping to get there for 8 o'clock. Big day ahead. Aquascaper 1500 in an office, so let's go. So you can see some of the kit I've got, 60 kilos of dragonstone, loads of plants, fertilisers, tissue culture plants, gravel, substrate, stuff to go under the gravel, camera kit. Yeah, just my boot is absolutely just full of stuff. So yeah, standard day in the life of an aquascaper. So I'm here at Morton Windows and Conservatories. These guys produce really nice high-end conservatories windows, anything to do with glass. And my job today is to install an Aquascaper 600 Aquascape in the owner's office, and I'll show you that in a moment. I've just unloaded the car, taken all of the kit upstairs into the office, and I've just been cleaning some dragonstone. Got 60 kilos here, which is more than enough, but it's always better to have too much than not enough, so we can choose the best pieces. So I've separated the rocks into 3 different families, each different kind of colours. We've got more of a kind of greeny tinge here. This is more of a kind of light browny colour, and then the biggest kind of bunch we've got here is like a very much of a sort of reddy brown. And I think this is the selection we're going to use. It's got a really nice variety of sizes, some really interesting textures, and there should be plenty of stone here for the aquascape. So here I am in the office, Aquascaper 1500 behind me. It's got twin Kessil A360WE Tuna suns. It's all hardwired in to the electrical circuit. We had an electrician get all that sorted. And yeah, black gloss cabinet. We've still got the protective covering on the cabinet right now, so it looks a little bit ugly, but we'll take that off right at the end. And yeah, let's get aquascaping. So first thing I'm going to do is put the substrate in. So we're using a base layer of Tropica plant growth substrate. Put this underneath our layer of gravel, and we just sprinkle this evenly. So you can kind of see what I've done there. Just use a credit card to kind of flatten it out. And the area around here is not going to be planted very heavily, so I've deliberately left that open there. And the idea is we don't have it coming all the way up to the glass, so when we put the gravel in you don't see the substrate underneath it. Next we're going to put our inert quartz gravel in. This is called Fiji gravel or Fiji sand from Unipac, and it's inert, so it's not going to raise the pH or the hardness of water, and it's just a nice kind of grain size to allow for root penetration. So I'm going to put that in right now. I'll do a time lapse actually, let's do that. So we've got our substrate in there. I have got some root tabs here, Tropica nutrition capsules, which we'll put in after we're planted, so we can actually target feed the individual plants. So next step is to put our wood in. Now normally I tidy up the gravel, it's a little bit uneven right now, but I want to put the wood in, put the rocks in, and I can tidy up the gravel around it all so it looks nice and neat. That's the wood in position. So I've got just 2 big pieces of bogwood. This has been pre-soaked for a while, so it should sink hopefully. We've just propped a piece of rock under there just to elevate the wood. The client Mark was quite keen to have some of the wood protruding. I will suspend the lighting higher. We can reposition the cabling, so ideally we'd have the Kessil quite a bit higher, and then it's going to get better light spread. Otherwise we'll get too much shading. So if I put it right down there, for instance, you can see it's going to create too much shading underneath the wood for the plants. So it's quite important that we have that higher up. And planting wise, we'll go through the plants later on, but next step is to put our stones in. Another good opportunity for a time lapse. Aquascape complete pretty much. I'm really happy with it. We've got a distinct triangular design, so much taller on the right and then sloping down to the left. So we'll use shorter planting on the left and then we'll use the tallest plants on the right. I'll talk about the plants we're going to use later on. So now we're ready for planting. So we've got 15 pots of Echinodorus bleheri, or the classic Amazon sword. This is going to be in the background on the right hand side. And then we've got some tissue culture Tropica 1-2 grow pots. We've got some Staurogyne repens and some Helanthium quadricostatus, which used to be called Echinodorus quadricostatus. And then finally, we've just got some moss there, some Taxiphyllum Spiky. So 4 species of plants, quite a simple planting layout, but still we're relying really on the hardscape to give us this high impact, beautiful design. So the plants are almost secondary, but they do obviously work in conjunction to help create a beautiful aquascape for our client. It's important we keep the plants from drying out, so just use a little spray mister here before we fill up with water. So the planting is all done now. We've planted Echinodorus bleheri here in the back right, which is the classic Amazon sword. We've got some Staurogyne repens, which we've attached to some rocks in the wood. We've also planted some in the substrate. It's quite a new method of growing Staurogyne. Not many people have done it. I've done it in the past. It does grow well attached to wooden rocks, as long as the water column's fed with enough liquid fertilisers. We've planted some Echinodorus quadricostatus just in some open areas of the substrate. That might not be appropriate for long term in the aquascape, but I'm quite keen to plant quite heavily on the initial startup phase to help prevent algae. And finally, we've just glued some Taxiphyllum spiky, some spiky moss, to some strategic areas on the wood. Mark was quite keen to have some growing out of the top of the tank as well, so I've glued some on the kind of threshold level there. And now we're ready to fill up with water. Exciting. Okay everyone, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed that install of the Aquascaper 1500 here at Moreton Glass and Conservatories. Thanks to Mark for hosting me today. Awesome day. I think the Aquascape looks great. I'm looking forward to coming to do a revisit in a couple of months when it's all grown in, and hopefully you can expect another video of that. So that's all for now guys. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, what bit of the process did you like the most. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a like if you've liked the video, and keep on scaping. Take care guys, cheerio.